The moment Patricia Caldwell stepped out of my cabin in flannel pajama pants and combat boots holding that chipped blue mug of coffee like it was a police baton, I swear time froze. HOA. President Sharon Wickford mid-911 call. Just about dropped her phone and whimpered like she'd seen the ghost of a bylaw. I didn't even know Patricia was up. Neither did Sharon, apparently, because the dispatcher on the other end got treated to a little morning drama. Sharon's screech echoing through the trees. "You can't just appear like that." I'll be honest, if you've never seen a grown woman in a puffer vest and Pearl's panic at the sight of a U.S. Marshal in pajamas, you haven't really lived. Patricia didn't flinch. She just sipped her coffee, dead calm, and said, "Ma'am, you're trespassing. That's a federal offense." Yeah, let me back up a sec. This story doesn't start with sirens, it starts with a flagpole, a $30 solar light from Home Depot, and a control freak in orthopedic sneakers. My name's Derek Sullivan, 52 high school science teacher, crossword addict, and up until this little episode, blissfully unaware that HOA drama could escalate past angry emails. See, I inherited this lakeside cabin in Pine Ridge Summit, a patch of mountain paradise, where the only thing more plentiful than pine trees is petty rules. Now, the queen bee of this paper empire is Sharon Wickford, retired office manager, binoculars glued to her face, convinced the HOA is all that stands between civilization and chaos. She literally called herself Commander-in-Chief of Common Areas, never cracked a smile doing it, and ran board meetings like she was auditioning for Judge Judy. You think I'm joking? My late uncle warned me. He said, "Son, that Wickford woman measures grass with a ruler, called the fire department because of a barbecue, once cited a garden gnome for loitering." I thought he was messing with me. He wasn't. So here's where I messed up. I put up a flag on a 12-foot pole, nothing special, and tacked up a little solar light so I wouldn't break my neck on the deck steps at night. To Sharon, this was some kind of signal, her words not mine, militant signaling. She spotted it during one of her community wellness walks, which, let's be honest, were surveillance runs. There I was, minding my own business, when I catch her peering through the tree line with binoculars and a clipboard, shaking her head like I'd just parked a tank on the lawn. 2 days later, she slipped a formal notification of non-compliant exterior illuminance into my mailbox, printed on pinecone stationery. Because, of course. She demanded I remove the unauthorized surveillance beacon and submit the flagpole to the symbol approval subcommittee. I laughed. Big mistake. You know how in movies there's that one moment where the hero underestimates the villain? That was mine. Sharon escalated from warnings to what she called evening integrity sweeps, wandering my property with a flashlight, muttering into her phone, snapping photos. One night I caught her with a telescoping rod, measuring my flagpole like she was doing NASA work. Next thing, the whole neighborhood got an email, subject line, "Potential separatist activity at cabin 14. Her evidence, I had fishing gear and wore camouflage waders. Oh, and I'd bought a bunch of canned soup at the store, so clearly I was stockpiling for a bunker lifestyle. Operation Patriot Watch was born, her little neighborhood watch, targeting, well, me. Flyers went up, grainy photo of me hauling groceries circled in red report. Unusual constitutional activities. I mean, come on, who even writes like that? It gets better. She filed a forestry complaint about my firewood, claimed I was burning endangered wood. The ranger showed up, took one look at my shrink-wrapped bundle, and nearly fell over laughing. But Sharon was relentless. When I finally installed a security camera, I woke up to find she'd draped it in a crocheted doily. No kidding. A doily, then declared surveillance equipment must be approved by the Architectural Review Committee. I asked her to leave. She clutched her clipboard like a life raft and hissed about anti-community behavior. You'd think that would be rock bottom. Nope. Saturday morning, Sharon clomps up the hill in snowshoes, pretty sure she thought she was going to bust a militia meeting, and threw my window spots tactical gear by the door. It was just my fishing waders and a leaf blower, but in her head, This was Ruby Ridge Part 2, so she calls 911, voice trembling, hostile male military-grade equipment cabin, 14. I wish I could say the dispatcher laughed, but rules are rules. They sent 2 squad cars. Unbeknownst to Sharon, my sister Patricia was staying with me for the weekend. Let me tell you about Patricia, 15 years as a U.S. Marshal, deadpan sense of humor, absolutely unflappable. By the time the cops pulled up, she was standing on the porch, badge on her belt, mug in hand, cool as a snowstorm. Officers, she nodded. Marshal Patricia Sullivan. This is my brother's property. That woman's been trespassing and harassing us all week. She hands over her badge, gestures at the security camera footage queued up on her phone. Sharon caught in high def doing the HOA version of Mission Impossible. The cops' whole vibe changed. One of them muttered, "You brought your own ladder to cover the camera." Sharon looked like she'd swallowed a lemon. Then she screeches, "Harold, tell them about the bylaws." Her husband, Harold. Good old Harold shows up in slippers, takes one look at the scene and just sighs. "Sharon, I told you this would happen. You need to leave these people alone." Watching Sharon clipboard, hanging mouth open, getting led away by the very cops she called, there's a word for it, karma. But that wasn't even the end. She got charged with trespassing, harassment, and filing a false emergency report. The cops' body cam footage, Patricia's security cam, even a clip of Sharon arguing about constitutional activities at the mailbox, all of it wound up on the Pine Ridge Facebook page. Within days, it was all over cabin life and HOA nightmares. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. The next HOA board meeting was the talk of the county. Over 60 neighbors showed up, most of them eager to air their own Sharon horror stories. The vote to remove her as president was unanimous except for Harold, who tried to call her behavior passionate community service. They voted him out too, said enabling counts as a bylaw violation now. No one could make this stuff up. 3 weeks later, Sharon faced the judge, trespassing $500 fine, harassment $1,000, false police report $2, $500, and 100 hours of community service, plus the real kicker. You are hereby banned from serving on any Homeowners Association board for 5 years. The look on her face, red, then purple, then just empty. Honestly, I almost felt bad. Almost, Sharon stammered. "But the HOA is my life. Who will protect the standards?" The judge just looked at her dead serious and said, "Maybe the community can protect itself without harassment." Mrs. Wickford. Gavel dropped. That was it, Sharon HOA legend reduced to a cautionary meme. The neighborhood's quieter now, folks wave at each other. Someone put up a flamingo in their yard and no one lost their mind. So here's my question for you. Was I right to stand my ground? Is justice just the absence of chaos? Or did we all just trade one problem for another? Drop your thoughts below. I've got my popcorn ready. And hey, next time you see a flagpole, maybe check if there's a Sharon lurking in the bushes before you call it militant signaling. You know what I mean?